welcome back to another episode of African Wealth. This is your host, Bradley Bailey, and today I'll be running a one-man show, and I wanted to talk about a few things. The main point I want to talk about is trading within Africa, and I want to set that up by talking about Zimbabwe. If you don't know, Zimbabwe, there was an article on Zimbabwe of them giving I believe 3.5 or 3.6 billion dollars to white farmers who were kicked out by Robert Mugabe many years prior. And I don't think it takes an economist or a rocket scientist to know that this is probably one of the worst deals that they could have made. And they're giving this 3.5 excuse me, not million, billion to these farmers is because from what I got from the article, is that they don't have the people necessary to produce food. And me, I find this as a problem. One, because that money could have went to a better place, into your education system, reinvested into your people, and then reinvested again on on the farm equipment, on the equipment needed to produce commercial a commercial system. But they spent this money instead to get foreigners or the former colonizer to come back and do what every should be doing in their own food. And aside from that, though, there's a reason why they were in the situation in the first place. And this is because most of the colonizers got together. They started sanctioning the country. That kind of put them in a bind. And to appeal to most of these countries, they have tried to ease after Mugabe's ousting. They tried to appeal to most of these countries and get in their good graces by offering this 3.5 billion to the former colonizers. And I see this as a missed opportunity. And this is where it comes back to trading within Africa. Out of all the exports Africans produce, only 2% is traded within the continent. Only 2%. So that means 98% goes out to Europe and Asia to get refined and then brought back into the country at a higher price, which kind of makes inequality of trade. And with Africa having most of the resources, having fertile land, the most land, there is no reason why there should be a starving African country. There's no reason why there's a country in Africa who can't farm for themselves, because farming is one of the building blocks of a nation. But Africa could be in a much more powerful position if they could capitalize on trading within their borders, because it only brings up positives for Africa as a whole. The economy would get better, the inequality of trade would get a lot better, the land can be utilized, more jobs would be had, more industries would be created, the culture would be put into the forefront. Instead of adopting European culture, you would have your own culture at the forefront. If Africa was to trade within each other, Africa would be in a much better predicament than what it has been in the past hundreds of years. Because if you have most of the resources, I don't see why there is no supernation or a world power within Africa, or at least a couple world powers within Africa. And with this lack of trade is a lack of banking ability. There's not a lot of jobs to go around, so the banks are not as powerful as they could be because they're not getting as much money as they should be. This leaves people in a predicament because banks are not willing to give up loans or to start a business. These banks will not be willing to give mortgages for people to have decent housing, especially if these banks are in control by people that are not native to the nation itself, or people that don't share the values of the nation itself. And this kind of produces problems all up and down sub-Saharan Africa. This is why I think is one of the main factors of why Africa is the way it is, or why the problems are the way they are. Now, I love to come with some, and like I said, the solution would be Africans to start trading with each other. Also, for African diasporans to come back into Africa and start investing within Africa to get that kickstart, get that economic boost. Because as African diasporans, we know the political game. We've been in this for years. We've been under the systems for years. We know how capitalism works. We know how banks work. We know how government works. We know how the economy works. And I wouldn't say all African diasporans, but the ones who are business minded, who are willing to go to Africa would know. Because we see opportunity in Africa. Like if we were from a nearby country to Zimbabwe with our mindset, and we knew Zimbabwe was going through this crisis, these sanctions, there's opportunity there to be made. We know Zimbabwe at first did not want the colonizer there. They would rather deal with African and African diasporans rather than people who invaded. So that could have been the ticket right there. That was opportunity right there. And some people actually took that opportunity and made a lot of money off that opportunity. I talked to some people who have. Me, I like to build. I like to see things created. I am finishing my degree in electrical technology. Been out of school for a little bit, but now I'm starting back to finish my degree. So when I get onto the continent, I'll be ready to push forward with my plan and have paperwork to show that, hey, I'm qualified. Me being 26 as of this year, I already see the opportunity that's there. I know a lot of people who are older than me have been seeing this opportunity and have taken the opportunity. And I have talked to one who's in Africa. Well, I talked to multiple people who's in Africa that are doing very well for themselves. And these are the people that I like to talk to. These are the people that I like to surround myself with. Because one day I can say, hey, I'm a part of this network. I'm a part of this trade group. We can empower Africans. We can empower ourselves, Africans, African diasporans, and we can help build not just a nation, but nations. And I think we have to get trading on the list of on the to-do list. Trading between Africa, and not just trading between all the countries, but trading within within a single country could be very powerful. Once a country starts getting its trade network set up, then it can enter the international market, and then it can start setting up bigger and better deals. And it could help a Zimbabwe before it got to that situation that they are in themselves in. I know there's a lot of people in Zimbabwe who are mad at this situation because I see articles of people kind of asking their government like, what are you doing? We have a few who are happy because that's just kind of how mentally we all let's not just African Americans, Africans in the UK, Africans in Haiti, Africans everywhere are kind of mentally messed up to where you have a few in all of these places just enjoy not being on top, that just enjoy being on the bottom. But you have a many that are like, what are you doing? What's going on? And that's healthy. That's very healthy because if you don't have that mentality, if you don't ask questions, if you don't accept things as what they are, I think those are the type of people that will do better in life because they like to create their own reality. But trading within Africa is one of the utmost importance to help Africa keep its individuality. That's all I got for today. I just want to put that on people's minds and let people know that, hey, there are people that are watching. There are a lot of people that disagree with what's happening in Zimbabwe and that there are solutions to be had. I don't like to talk negatively about any topic, but I'd like to separate the politics from everything, and it's hard to separate the business and the politics. Business and politics they run together most of the time. But that's all I want to talk about. I hope everyone has a great rest of the